Okay, it's time to talk about the biggest mistakes people make. If you can anticipate these ahead of time and course correct, it's going to save you a lot of frustration in the long run. So take the time to get your offer dialed in the first time. Number one is rushing through. Did you do your research? Did you spend the time to thoroughly explore every source around your niche that you could? Did you listen to podcasts, read books, read comments, join Facebook groups? Or did you just browse through the possible ways you could research and then just make it all up in your head? Because that's going to make a huge difference to how your market responds to this. So if you didn't take the time to do the research, go back through, spend as much time as you need doing this. And this is a never-ending process. So you should continually be keeping a pulse on the market. Number two is your offer a nice to have instead of a must have? Offering something that is a nice to have instead of a must have is a big mistake. So does your prospect need your offer? Or could they take it or leave it? Because if they could take it or leave it, you haven't hit on a painful enough problem and you're going to have a really hard time selling that. Next is not using results-based positioning. So this is how excited your prospect should be when they hear your offer. So if you're positioning yourself based on your method, your time, or anything else instead of results, then your prospect isn't going to be very excited. Okay, it's going to be boring. Are you positioned based on the results that you can get for your client? So if you're talking about your hourly rate, I'm going to send you back to the drawing board. You want to use the biggest possible result your client could get. So what is the best possible outcome? That's what you should be using for your offer. Are you being too general? Or do you solve a specific problem? So remember that being hyper-specific is the best way to create a monopoly. Monopolies are what's going to drive the money. Okay, Money's loves monopolies. So are you being too general or are you being hyper-specific? Are you using general language instead of using niche-specific language? Not using the words that your market would use is a huge mistake that a lot of people make. So are you using general language or the actual words that would come out of your prospect's mouth when describing the problem? So for example, a doctor's customers are called patients, not clients. And if you referred to his customers as clients in your marketing, he wouldn't respond to it. So a software company will refer to monthly recurring revenue much more often than sales. So you have to know how to address your market and you have to speak to them in their own language. Next is it's not believable. So will your market believe that you can do what you say you can do? Here's a funny example of this. It says less wrinkles in only 60 minutes. I think this is a real ad for Dermatage. And you can see the woman on the right and the woman on the left. Now clearly that's not possible. So any intelligent person is not going to believe this ad and they're not going to trust this company. So is your offer believable? Can you do what you say you're going to do? Next is offering too much. Are you offering one specific solution to one specific and painful problem? You should have a streamlined process and offer that only solves one problem. If you say, I'll do anything for you to be happy, your prospects aren't going to treat you well, you're going to be trading hours for dollars, and you're not going to be able to charge premium prices. So you should cover one thing and you should be the best in the world at it, okay? You don't want to do anything for anyone. Next is not taking the time to test your offer in your market. Your market will reveal the pains, desires, language, and attitudes towards you if you talk to them. So test your offer in the market and tweak it based on what you learn. The more prospective clients you talk to and present your offer to, the more feedback you're going to get and the better your offer will be. Is your offer compelling enough? So a big mistake is your offer is not compelling enough. Your prospect should think after they hear your offer that it would be crazy to not work with you, okay? And you should believe this about your offer too. So if your offer is this good, your prospect will hear it and they'll want to work with you. So do you think your prospect would be crazy to not take you up on your offer? Next is not positioning yourself as the Rolls Royce of the market. So you want to position yourself as the best, most high-end service or coaching or consulting in the market. So are you the most high-end solution in your market? You should be priced the highest and you should have the best level of service. So be the Rolls Royce of your industry. And a lot of that is just done through that results-based positioning that we're talking about and selling a transformation and not the features of our consulting offer. Which brings me to the next one. A big mistake a lot of people make, and it's hard to train yourself not to do this if you're used to doing it, is talking about the features instead of benefits. So boring your prospect with what's included instead of focusing on the current pain and the future results. So are you talking about how many phone calls they get, how many hours of your time they get? These things are all a waste. You need to talk about the benefits and the results. You have to remember that transformation is what is for sale. So you are just a means to an end. Your prospect is buying transformation. They're investing in themselves. That's what you have to sell. So don't talk about the features or the details of your offer unless they ask after you've already explained the transformation. But remember, what is for sale is change. It's transformation from a painful situation into their ideal situation. So if it sounds like you're making any of these mistakes, head back to the drawing board, tweak your offer one last time before we review it together, and then move on to the next module, which is pricing. I'll talk to you soon.